next.
Good evening, everyone. It is 6:00 p.m. on Wednesday, September the 17th, 2025. Thank you all for being here, and I'd like to begin our regular workshop. Our first item is to discuss affordable housing strategy options with Michelle Pierce, rental versus home ownership. Will you join us in the hot seat, Michelle?
Please.
These hot seats are more comfortable than those back there anyway.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, I just wanted to let you know that this morning, the Hinsdale County Board of Commissioners agreed to move forward with trying to get Hinsdale County reclassified from a rural community to rural resort. Christy and I are going to be working on that. That will automatically include the town of Lake City. And so if there's no objections, we're just going to proceed along those lines. Getting reclassified as a rural resort community gives us options for increasing the income levels of people that can qualify to live in the housing that we're building. And it gets closer to, workforce. So just got that out of the way.
I was in their meeting, but I didn't hear any discussion on it. When it first came up, they were asking about, is there any downside?
There are no downsides.
Okay.
We've been strongly encouraged by all the Department of Housing folks to proceed. There's really kind of a question as to why Hinsdale wasn't classified as rural resort initially, like San Juan, Silverton, for example, or even Uray. We all look the same in terms of, the gap in income between those that live in housing and, those that commute. There's a couple of other things in there that we tick the boxes on. So we think it'll be a pretty simple process. It's going to be fully supported by that housing demand study that the planning team developed, so.
Well, I just hadn't heard of it on the downside. Last week, discussed it. We'll get the housing.
Yeah, so I think it's going to turn out well for us. So, yes, Nathan.
So when people do go to rent or buy a house and they're allowed to make more money, it's the 80,000 versus 60, where it's at. But they have a higher minimum payment as well.
Well, it's income qualified, so yeah, but it's also limited to 30% of your income. The rental.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Did we jump into a conversation and not begin it?
No, he's talking about the rural resort designation changing AMI levels.
The only thing
I missed the,
Yeah.
sorry.
The only thing negative I found on it that people I could see was that if it was at 60, then you only had to provide $1,100 a month for.
So it's 30% or less of your income dedicated to housing, no matter how much you make.
And they don't have to make a minimum of the age.
The AMI. It's the AMI levels is the different qualifying income bracket. So if you make over 140,000 and the max on ours is 100%, then you're not going to get a rental place no matter what.
Is there a minimum?
No,
No.
there's no bottom, there's a ceiling. Okay,
Thank you for answering.
no worries. Yeah, it's kind of complicated and still have to go back and look at it myself. So this whole idea of rental housing versus deed restricted ownership, just kind of go back, kind of do the history here. So some time ago, the town of Lake City, the Board of Trustees dedicated those 22 lots by the medical center for workforce/affordable housing, right? Your condition was that you would retain ownership of the land. And we definitely are holding to that in this planning process. So when we talk about ownership, it won't be ownership of the land, okay? And there's all kinds of structures that you can put together that allow you to do that. Not too long after you did that, we started working with Willow Williford in Winter to solicit an RFP from the developer to apply for a low-income housing tax credit to build rental housing on those 22 lots. We ended up hiring Belmont, and Belmont put together a design. They also did kind of a high-level study of the online information for Hinsdale County and determined that that site and the funding, the low-income housing tax credit funding, would cover 28 units. So when you hear us talking about 28 units, that's where that came from. And of course, as we know, we didn't even get out of the gate with that process. We got shut down almost immediately. So we took a break, and then we decided the town and the county partnered to have a rental market study that was conducted by Jeff Moffett. Remember him? We shared the cost for that. That study supported the town and county's application for the Energy Impact Assistance Fund grant for the local capacity grant, local planning capacity grant. And we used that money to hire Western Spaces, Sarah McLean and her team. Diane?
I'm sorry. We just keep hiring people.
Well, there's a process to go
I
through.
know, but it's,
And this was, the planning process actually is nearing completion.
okay,
Yes.
I'm just overwhelmed by that at times.
Well, it's been multiple attempts.
Well, yeah, this has been something that we started multiple times and failed at.
It's nothing towards you, Michelle.
Oh,
I just kind of, it just kind of came out of me, sorry.
No, that's okay. I mean, it has. It's been a long, hard process. And we've tried several avenues to get to this problem, right? So anyway, we hired Western Spaces. I think they've done a great job in developing this plan. At the same time, due to concerns about limited funding from DOLA, we also applied for a More Housing Now grant to go ahead and design and engineer this 28-unit development. That grant is contingent on designing and engineering 28 units.
Rental units.
We can discuss that in a
Okay.
minute.
All right.
I remember being particularly concerned about the number of units.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we were talking to him about the possibility of reducing them
Right.
so that we could, get a better price on the design and engineering.
Right.
So,
Okay.
28 units. So these two processes, the planning process and now the design and engineering, are kind of running at the same time. The planning process was designed to inform the construction of these 28 units on a private site. It was going to come up with the unit mix, a 3-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom, that kind of thing. And also, this planning process not only addresses rental needs, it's also addressing the population that would look to buy. And as we know, on the open market right now, prices are way too high for the average worker or middle income person to afford to buy. The only opportunity for them right now would be some form of deed-restricted housing. So the demand study actually is coming up with a recommendation that we look at both. That we look at rental units, and that we also look at a few deed-restricted for sale units. A question has come up though with our design team, is that kind of mix going to be acceptable to the town of Lake City? Would you be willing to consider a mix of rental units and for sale units, understanding that you will still own land underneath that? Deed-restricted housing, it puts a cap on the profit that you can make when you resell your house. It's something like 3% above the purchase price that you bought it. But what it does allow is a person that buys it under this deed restriction to build equity in that property, to earn higher incomes, so the income level is disqualifying to get in. Once you're in there, you can start earning more money and you're basically bid you out, right? So you can start earning more money, you can save money, you can build equity, and eventually, hopefully, when you sell that de-restricted unit, be able to buy on the open market. So that's the question tonight, is are you willing to consider a mix of rental units and a few de-restricted housing units
That's part of the 28.
as part of the 28, yes. We know already that the construction, the actual construction of these units are going to have to be phased in order to make it financially feasible. And that way, you fill them up as you build them, and when they're full, it makes it more attractive for a developer to go ahead and build them. I think that's it.
Well, I was going to ask, when we were discussing it, we were going to use a management company out of Gunnison.
So the Gunnison Valley Housing Authority, we were hoping to use them to help us manage that project. My understanding is they may be falling.
So revenues from rent would go to whoever was managing.
We do have to come up with a management structure. Yes, that's still kind of up in the air. I think there's a possibility with partnering with the Housing Authority in the San Luis Valley. There's also the possibility of, trying to have our own housing authority, which nobody's too excited about. There's also the possibility of maybe eventually hiring a person that could help us manage these housing projects, or
I've always thought about on-site managers, and
we talked about that
they're
too.
very low rent improvement, they
Uh-huh.
kind of pay. Their job, on-site manage the whole facility.
I like that.
So that's, still something that's kind of up in the air right now, but we do have to come up with a management structure.
Going back to the units, so it's 20 units on that property. Would some be set up as apartment complexes and other as townhomes?
It's kind of what we're looking at right now is there would be a couple of 2 or 3 apartment buildings, and then maybe some like townhomes along the Henson Street frontage. Theoretically, if we were agreeable, those along the Henson Street frontage could potentially be de-restricted housing. And then the apartment buildings would be behind that.
My question really is, I'm familiar with deed restrictions and how all that works. I guess my concern is how many rules and regulations that make sure that these are, if they get sold, they're being sold to workforce, people that need them, and not just an investor
Right.
that comes in and says, yeah, I'll take 3 acres.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then they rent them to other people.
No, that cannot happen. And I don't know how that gets structured, but everybody understands that this is workforce housing. And in fact, this is year-round workforce housing. We understand there's a seasonal need too, but we're not addressing that with this project.
So could an entity we would purchase, like CDOT or the school, or,
Potentially
and then they could rent?
to their workers.
Right.
And that would be carefully structured.
Because that's how I think that it might be most successful.
It might, but the point is to provide an opportunity for a family to buy these houses. Not to have somebody buy them for them and rent them. This is ownership, giving people an opportunity to actually have ownership
And they can only make 3% a year or 3%?
at the end.
Oh,
So,
wow.
When it's resold.
I mean, and no matter how long they've had it?
so that it stays affordable.
Affordable. That's the point.
It stays affordable.
There's a maximum amount that you can put on top when you resell it, and it's just a few percent.
But in the meantime, you can build equity. As you're
Right.
paying down your mortgage, paying extra on your mortgage,
That's true.
raising your income, maybe saving a little. You know, it's just a foot in the door.
Yes, it is.
I guess where my little confusion comes into this is having like another entity, like a local business. Buy it, and then, well, here, I have a personal deal where I
How would
rented
they
an
do
apartment. I rented an apartment to a business, and that business went around and rented it to their employees. And packed them in there, and they're charging their employees almost 4 times what I was charging them rent.
Yeah.
I do not think that's right.
That's not
And
gonna
that's
happen
an
here.
example of
That would be,
There's
like,
a review process that.
yeah,
This,
it would be legally and contractually restricted, where it wouldn't allow those things.
when we were looking at all of those rental units, we were thinking about the possibility of an outfit like CDOT, for example, buying a block of them
Right.
and using them to rent to their employees. That's not what we're talking here about ownership.
Ownership would be individual families
Wow.
that had to meet, like, the AMI levels, they would, you know, they would have to meet all the conditions that would allow that deed
So
restriction house to
there
exist.
would be strict rules in place for something like that, that would allow a employer to rent and maybe re-rent, but there would be,
No.
On the rental unit side.
yeah, rent and then sublet, but there would be rules in place that cover that.
Right,
Ownership ones would not allow that.
No.
no,
Right. Yeah.
no,
You get my
Yeah,
concern?
I know what I was gonna ask,
Yeah.
just in layman's terms, if a construction company needed to hire workforce housing, would it be under the business name of the rental unit,
no.
or would it be under the?
Only individuals would be able to rent these units or purchase them, individual families, no businesses, no LLCs, none of that, all of them would be barred from doing that. Yes, because the funding, when the funding that we'll get, that'll be a part of the requirement of us receiving the funding and building the thing, is that these are the restrictions that you have to have on it, this is meant for local workforce only, and these are the conditions which they have to meet in order to qualify to rent and or buy that house. Yes.
So I'd say, I'm like locally working too, like just another question is like, if somebody works remotely and lives in the city, that doesn't qualify?
Well, if they live in Lake City, whatever job they have, it's dependent upon their AMI level. It
Yeah,
depends on what their income is.
yeah, totally.
So yeah, someone that works remotely could still live in one of those places if they met the AMI requirement.
Because from what I understand, it's not strictly workforce, even though we refer to it, it's also, it's low income house. Is that
Affordable.
affordable housing, sorry, I understand. Yeah, affordable housing, so that our seniors who can stay in the community may be able to rent a place.
Yes.
That actually is a good place for them because there's other people there,
Totally.
so.
And I've been pushing for that since we.
Next to the medical center, yeah.
Yes. And
Yeah, I just think that that's like an important part of it. Yes, it's workforce, but it's affordable housing for anyone that wants to be in Lake City for whatever reason.
And is there any kind of other restrictions to say, if like, you know, a median age of Lake City is
55 or something.
yeah,
And so like, is there, like, if, let's say it was all filled up hypothetically by seniors and there's no room for actual workloads.
Most seniors
Yeah.
can't stay in Lake City,
Well, I know, I'm just,
just realistic.
28 people is easy, like,
You wanna put an age restriction on the senior?
No.
I'm just saying, like, is there a unit restriction where it actually still has?
Oh.
Well, there's only gonna be so many that are ADA accessible, one. You know, they're not all gonna be that way.
But I,
Well, and I'm sure there's going to be instruction in place that would prevent a single person from renting a 3-bedroom unit.
Right.
yeah,
And
and that's what I was just curious, is like, if there's a bunch of workforce and a bunch of seniors that is, would just, some of this is.
I mean, yeah, and since we'll phase it, you know, what's important is that it fills up with one or the other. You know, and then that will open up additional opportunities to build more.
Yeah.
So right now though, Cause how they design and engineer it, like, if we have both rental and ownership, that's gonna inform how they design and engineer the place. So they need to know, if we build for, for sale units, deed restricted for sale affordable units, is that acceptable to the board?
I don't know.
Or,
Well, a few.
A few, because there wasn't a huge need.
But there's not like a restriction on like saying there's 14 low income housing versus 14.
No.
No.
Workforce housing.
No, it just has to serve certain AMI levels.
Okay.
could we at any point turn one of the rentals into a sale?
Well,
That's just a
so what we're looking
random
at,
question.
you'd like to have to condominiumize a building to do that.
Okay.
Right.
And we're not.
I mean, personally, I would say no more than 4.
Well, it may not be the first housing project that gets built as well.
No, part of the planning processes that we're in, so we've got the Lake Fork housing project. But another piece of this housing study is to identify other potential areas where we could either build housing or buy something and rehab it. There's an inventory that we have to take yet for other places that might.
That's good.
Is there a restriction on, let's say hypothetically, somebody owns a home, which I know is like rare, low income, but say they own a home and say, well, my only income is to rent a house, and then move into workforce housing, rent out their house.
We're looking at, like, one of the other ideas we've thrown around is like, for a senior, for example, they already have a house, right? And if they're gonna move into one of our deed restricted, like, rental units, it may be a condition that they sell their house that they have.
We can't force people to sell.
No, but if you wanna move into a rental unit, then
Oh,
yes, you need to sell that and you need to sell it deed restricted.
Or you have to rent it out.
Well, we don't say you have to sell, we say you may not own another property
Right,
and be eligible to rent.
So the scenario we're talking about is an older person that owns a home that's too big for them. And they would like to downsize and move into one of our rental units and sell their home. We might look at having them put a deed restriction on the sale of their home.
in order to qualify to move into the rental unit. So that it adds additional, they may be taking up a rental unit that's affordable, but then we would have the requirement that they deed restrict their house.
Idea, we deed restrict private property from the town's perspective, since probably
No, then they don't get the option to move in. Simple as that.
Well, then that just forces people's hands, like you basically deed restricted.
And that's just an idea.
It's just an idea.
Yeah.
What,
I'm not sure I agree with it.
And yeah, if
Speaking of
if you own another home or anything, you wouldn't qualify. Like,
Because-
you have to not own any property
Because
anywhere.
then that like,
That's
that-
part of the assets
Yeah.
that you're looking at.
That's
Their
what I'm questioning,
income
'cause like-
includes assets that you own.
Right.
does it?
Well, does it?
I don't know.
Income is income.
If you have rental income perhaps.
But if somebody wants to inherit a house and they can't, you're not gonna get rid of your inheritance.
Is it how
Deed
the
restricted,
majority
like, it's,
have the rights to look at people's taxes?
Oh, yeah.
Well, yes, you would be filling out an application that gives detailed information about your income.
Yeah.
They're not gonna take somebody's word though.
No, yeah, I mean, everything.
I mean,
Yeah.
now,
No, I'm just thinking, yeah, I wasn't even, I didn't even think of that.
I mean, it's you.
Yeah,
I don't do the idea, but I'll just share them, a little bit devil's advocate, have to be the landlord. Big city of that, but who's gonna police this stuff?
Right.
I mean, somebody buys one that's deed restricted, and then all of a sudden, 6 of their friends, need places
The
to
local
crash.
housing authority.
Well, so that's why we need a management structure. Whether it's partnering with somebody in the San Luis Valley, whether we have an employee that monitors that, or even how could be a local operator.
And and another thing is if they don't own the land, but they own the house, then I imagine that they would be paying some kind of fee in order to help with the snow plowing and, removing snow from the roof and taking care of the grounds and the property. Because that was one of my questions is, okay, so then what, there's like an affordable housing HOA that they're paying into to be able to live there but not have to take care of the property or the grounds that it's on?
There's a lot of questions that we talk, but, like, they own that house, then community split, it's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. How many people can live there? And who set?
Well, that would be at the fire pit.
No,
No.
well, yeah,
Not if
no,
they own it.
no, he has a good point. You know, it's like, yeah, so it says it's a family of 2, you know, or a family of 3, and it's a 2-bedroom. But then they have like 4 of their family members move in, or buddies, you know, and now you have 6 people in a home, or 8 people in a home that was sold to a 3-member family. You know what I mean?
So that's, you know, that has to, that
Yeah.
has to be dealt with in the management structure. And, you know, details that we really haven't gotten to yet. The main question tonight is, are you willing to consider the minutes?
Yes, yes.
I believe I'm open to it, but there's a lot of details I would like to know how we will begin.
Yeah, I think we all would, Dave, but
Yeah, I mean, just go just as a consensus, I think.
And I would say how many? Like, you know, what did the study
I
say?
don't think we're even there yet.
we're not,
Before even
and
that,
you know, it's just a few. The majority of the need is for rental units. And then there's the need to provide opportunity for people to buy. That study, I think, recommends 3 or 4.
Are there terms that are set on the rental unit, is it annually, or is it like your term of your contract lease, length?
Well, I'm sure there'll be leases,
Yeah.
but you only qualify once to move. Does that make sense?
Yes, it's not like you know.
You don't have to prove, no, you don't have to prove your income over and over again.
Mhm.
You just have to prove it once to move in. And then if you make more money, you move up in your position, fine. That allows you as a renter even to start saving,
Mhm.
and building a little, you know, reserve for yourself.
Totally, I just didn't know if it was, if you were gonna be like month to month or like.
No.
I doubt, no, I doubt that.
It'd probably
That's what
be
I'm.
minimum a year at least.
I know, yeah.
This is
That's
what-
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How does this help the process?
But
Like the planners that we're working with, and it sounds like they're suggesting this, right? They're asking us because they would like to kind of include that as part of this plan. I guess my question is, we've always looked at this as workforce housing or for rental, and then also for seniors that need it. But the purchasing thing, how does that change this whole project? How does that help us by having these restricted ones away?
So those units will be more like a townhouse, a standalone, like townhouse, or possibly a duplex with a shared
So
wall.
it's the design.
It's the
It's
design.
part of the design.
Yeah.
There is some money that's available only for homeownership, or if it's a mix, like,
That's where I was going with it. How does it help us with the
Financing.
project finance or the
So there's financing opportunities on both sides for deed restricted housing and for rental units. So it's not that you won't have a funding opportunity for ownership housing. There are those grants and low interest loans, or possibly developers buy in, and there's all kinds of different structures here that could be used to make this happen. We're not concerned about the ability, well, we are concerned about the ability to finance the whole damn thing, right? That's gonna be a big lift down the road. But right now, we need to get it designed, and designed to the point where it's ready for construction.
So the question here, I see we're going to build some like townhomes with the intent of selling those. But we could also backtrack and say, unless the funding is too high, that they're all going to be rentals. But once you sell them, then they're sold and they're out of your control,
right,
other than the deed restrictions.
I suppose so.
right.
I don't know, I kind of landing in a way, I don't know enough about it, and muddies the water on my vision of the project.
If I may, I know that Crestview has been dealing with this for many years. And as part of the Gunnison Valley Authority going away or not, these questions have been answered by someone and put into practice by someone. by our neighbors, and so I don't know what the answers may be, but I'm pretty sure they're
Aspen has been
close.
working on it for 50 years.
I had lunch with the
Man.
mayor of Aspen, by the
And they're
way,
making
she lives in
progress.
there for the lunch. She can't even afford to be in there.
Yeah, I think, I don't think that buying the home things is a bad idea, I think. In phases, it would be, we would build apartment rental units first, to completion, and townhomes for say in third phase or.
Potentially, but there's how they design and engineer it, which is what they're doing now.
Yeah, no, I
Okay,
totally get that.
so, but we could definitely choose to phase it where, okay, we're gonna do the big apartment first, the smaller apartment second.
I'm totally for the buying thing, like, I
Yeah.
think it's great instead of just talking about, like, definitely for somebody that is, you know, a younger family moving into Lake City, instead of throwing their money away to rent, they have equity, and
Right,
it's not much equity, but if you resell,
right,
then potentially you get that money for a down payment or, and, you know, forever for us to stay.
right.
Cause I mean, that idea in general seems pretty basic and easy, and it's into like a really low return.
Right.
Or rent, so it's like, I think that's great, I think also for entrance or workforce or rental apartments, I think it would be best to phase it as that would be last construction. I also see the point is if you could sell them before they're built to help offset costs, you know.
So it's gonna depend
Yeah.
on how the financing structure comes together. If we end up finding a developer that is interested in both, you know, maybe it's a rental unit and one for sale unit. There's any number of ways
Yeah.
that
I like
this
that.
could be phased.
Yeah. And so when, we're gonna have a workshop, we'll have a joint workshop, with the county next, or like, the idea is to have it October 1st in here from like 5 to 6:30. And then on October 2nd, the design and engineering team, which we're gonna talk about here in a minute, wanted to meet to kind of discuss some of these things about ownership and rental, and also show y'all the different concepts that they've come up with to get your feedback and feedback from stakeholders.
Yeah.
So there'll be an opportunity to ask more questions at that time.
Yeah, and I think, like Jody said, these people are familiar within the past, and they could give us answers to some of these questions, but.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I also agree, it's a good opportunity as well, helping young families get in here, I'm in favor of it. I just don't know about the web, the confusion, you know, it comes down, you know, first come, first served, who gets in there, I remember when I was much younger, they put in the housing development, the demand was so high that a lot of people sleeping on the sidewalk trying to get their name on the
I
That's what they've
website.
done in Crestview.
Not that Lake City is where there'd be that much demand, but.
I bet there's a waiting list. My guess would be, especially if it's phased,
That's the thing.
there's gonna be a waiting list.
Hmm.
And how we pick those people, whether it's first come, first served, or we draw their names from a hat, I don't know.
That's that management structure.
Yeah.
You'll have to do this.
My concern would just be fairness, and, you know, but you need community buy-in and support things like that, and the key to that would be explaining, so that people totally understand the different be restricted.
I'm looking forward to totally understanding it myself.
I'm going to get.
Well, I appreciate you,
Thank you, Michelle, so much.
you got the wheels turning,
Yeah.
and we all have a
Questions
lot
are
to
good.
learn, but, and I hope it's fun, we ask these questions, and
No, it absolutely is, I just wish I had all of the answers.
Yeah. And the idea of
You
today
pretty much do.
was to grease, you know, to start that conversation. And then so we're thinking about it by the time we go to this workshop.
Yeah.
I like the idea of doing the both for the sake of the plan and the design.
And I think it'll be more attractive to
Yeah.
have it more organic looking with,
Oh, so good. A block.
big block of things.
well, it's never been that. The designs we've had in the past were pretty cool.
Oh, yeah,
And they didn't look like apartment
I'm-
buildings.
Well, I mean, yeah, we'll see. We'll see at the October 2nd meeting.
You see the townhomes there going on Montrose, they're really big.
I love
Yes.
those.
I've seen
That's
those,
amazing.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
And that's
No.
affordable awesome.
And
I love
And
those
that's
too.
mixed use.
We're
housing.
Yeah.
modernized on the
Yeah,
bypass.
Senior
They're talking
citizens,
about part of
families.
the big square block.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
There's gonna be multi-unit
It won't be
construction.
like that, the designs that were originally presented.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, the one I really liked, the one where we had that, it was that other cube, but they actually looked like little individual houses. You could almost not tell they were duplexes, right? The way that it looked, and they were even gonna do facades. One would look like a brick, one would look like a cabin. You know, I mean, there's ways to dress that up. And even those ones you're talking about, down in Montrose, the biggest difference thing is the colors, the
Yeah.
way they paint them and make them out of.
And those are basic for American real estate.
Yeah, and they offset them, they don't like,
Don't
bam,
worry.
bam, bam.
Right.
What you don't want is that
It's
conventional
just
apartment
attractive.
building, giant square.
Or in Western State. Or-
Yeah.
I don't wanna point fingers, but that sunset.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
thank you.
guys.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you so much,
Thank
we
you.
gotta keep talking about it, keep
Yeah.
talking about it.
No, we've got these workshops on that, so.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm very excited.
You know, building this project is one thing. Pretty soon here, you guys are going to be looking at your land use code. And there are some changes in terms of like, accessory dwelling units, density, location, that you're gonna have to consider to, you know, go along with this affordable housing effort.
Yeah, this is not the
Well, and like you
only answer.
said, like you said earlier, the potential of rehabbing is, and all that, rehabbing, those should be this, descripted also.
Yes,
Oh, anything like that.
So,
would be.
Yeah, in a perfect world, you would be buying the Red Riding apartments.
They're sold.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank
you.
for taking the
You don't
time.
need me anymore, do you?
I don't think so. I was gonna talk about a joint workshop on October 1st, and then the
Schedule.
charrette.
Right.
Yeah, you don't-
Thank
I don't-
Thank you.
I already signed it.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Our next item is to discuss the joint
Anything?
county housing strategy workshop on October.
So, yeah, Western Spaces, that group, wants to have a second workshop with the county and town, to kind of go over the solutions and, the tools that we can use to acquire or develop, workforce housing. So I was gonna see if five to 6:30 work for y'all on that day to do a joint county town workshop. I'll confirm with the county.
With pizza?
Not $300 fee.
Well, cause it kind of plays into the next day, so on October 2nd, the dynamic planning group who's doing the design and engineering, they reached out to see if we could have, on October 2nd, from 8:30 AM to 12:30 PM, have a trustee and stakeholder workshop. And then 5:30 to 7 PM that night, have a public open house to get feedback and stuff. On the 2nd.
Is that open like in person?
Yeah, they'll be here in person. We're trying to get like the med center or something.
Well, so we could do Zoom.
Well, no, because they're gonna be here with pictures. They want public to come back and look at the, you know, kind of get feedback on the different designs and stuff. To see what people liked. I told them 8:30 AM to 12:30 PM was probably not gonna work, because most of the stakeholders have day jobs, and trustees do too. So he proposed 5:30 PM to 8 PM on Thursday, October 2nd. And, because originally they wanted to do it the same day as this other workshop, and I'm like, a 5-hour, 6-hour workshop is not gonna fly, it's just not gonna, it's too long. So I wanted to get y'all's feedback about that, if
If I know now, I could take some time off.
okay. So would 5:30 PM to 8 PM on Thursday, October 2nd work?
For me, yeah, I mean, it's.
What day is that?
5:30 to 8.
Thursday.
5:30 to 8, they're gonna,
8 to 5.
no, I know,
No, my brain keeps.
I know,
We got rid of that one.
because I just told them that morning one won't work, like
Yeah.
Rebecca from the school won't be able to come, CDOT wouldn't be able to come. So we're gonna try to combine the trustee stakeholder and the open house to between 5:30 and 8 PM. To kind of condense it all to 2.5 hours, instead of having a 6.5 hour
Okay,
ordeal.
well, the one on the first,
Yeah,
the joint
County one.
County, that's our normal meeting.
Yes, it is. It would be like during our workshop.
And that's what.
But it would start early.
I mean, well,
At five to 6:30, and then we would have our meeting workshop, and then we would have our.
yes,
meeting.
right,
Right.
correct,
Or something like that, yeah.
correct.
So that one just becomes a meeting.
Right.
The question is Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday.
I'm good for Thursday.
I think you could,
Thursday, 5:30 to 8.
You good to, you good to,
that's dedicated, one minute.
yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to them about it and tell them
I want to hear that.
we're a go, and then we're gonna advertise and notice it too, that, you know, the public is welcome to come and participate and give feedback about the design and engineering of the housing complex. All right, good. All right, that covers both of those.
Okay,
Mhm.
is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, third item, discuss scheduling, that's,
We're on
next
the,
item, discuss advertising for nonprofit donation requests for the 2026 budget from September 26th to October 10th. That's,
So, I mean, so I was looking like historically what we've done, and it's like before 2020, we were only given like $500 in donations. And then in 2020, we gave $2,000 for the GCA fast charger. And then in 2021, there was $5,000 for the chamber fireworks. And then in 2022, it was $7,500 for the chamber fireworks. We Care for $2,500, and that's what the two major ones there. And then in 2023, we gave $37,500, and that was $2,500 to the Lake Fork Valley Conservancy for one of the river projects. We Care for $5,000, EMS for $15,000, the chamber $5,000 for the fireworks, and then $5,000 to the county for the organic material
you're missing the
program.
dirt.
Well, the dirt is something separate. It's a different line item.
Oh.
Yeah, because we have an MOU with them where that's something that's not really in the BOT donations. They ask for it every year, but it's actually a part of our MOU
Oh, okay,
that we have with them. So I'm not including that.
okay.
I'm not including that. I'm including everything outside of that. And then we also give $2,500 every year to the marketing board too for marketing. But I'm not including that in these donations because those are separate line items in our budget. And then 2024, we gave $30,275. And again, that was like We Care, EMS, fireworks, a little bit to Girl Scouts, a little one to the school, $2,000 to the Historical Society. And then this year we gave $31,564. And that was the Historical Society was $3,000, We Care $5,000, EMS $16,000, Girl Scouts about $1,600, Scouts $960, and then fireworks again $5,000. And what I'm getting to is that we're not. I mean, like now that we have a capital improvements plan, and also due to our own increases, which I'm working on the budget, I don't see us being able to give that much money or continue to give that much money.
And if that stuff passes this fall, they're gonna get that much already.
EMS and
They will still ask us for that same amount of
The
money.
EMS will know.
I'm
They
not
will.
saying
Yeah.
yes or no, they will ask.
I just spoke to Catherine, yes.
They will ask.
yeah. So I mean,
Help them. It's from
The EMS
hell,
is
especially we.
Wait, one at a time.
yeah. So EMS asked for 36,000, but we only gave them 16. So, anyways, I'm just saying that our expenses are going up, the health insurance is going up another 13.5%. We're talking about maybe changing our plan to reduce that cost, but we're going to have to be making other cuts just to make things work for us, for the organization. So how much we can give I just don't see it being $30,000 a day.
Yeah, I mean, I know we went back and forth with our donations last year. I know that they're trying to pass what do we call it?
The lodging
It's a lot
tax.
of that.
The lodging tax. And so I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's roughly
It's a 4%.
4% increase. And 2% I think goes to EMS, 1 to STAR, 1 to We Care.
Correct.
EMS, I mean, I know as far as like going to the meetings, for that, the We Care is completely underfunded, that's what they were trying to do anyways. And they're trying to get like everybody else, try to
Yeah.
chime in on that, so I don't You know, as far as the donations, I feel like for EMS, $16,000 is unproportional to everybody else.
Well, and they would be getting, if it passed, they would be getting like, it's about 50 to 60,000 per percent. So they'd be getting about 100 to 110,000 if the lodging tax passes.
Yeah.
You know, and then We Care would be getting about 50 to 60,000 from their 1%. So I mean, that is something to keep in mind if it does pass, which we won't know till mid-November, but we don't have to pass the budget till December 15th.
Right.
So there may be time to see how that happens and then see what we can do.
I had a conversation with Catherine Height, and she gave me some details about, like, they're now paying people to be on call. There's 2 people that take 48 hours each, and then the paramedic takes the rest. I mean, it's $5 an hour on call. They don't get paid, like, they're $25 an hour unless they get a call.
Right.
Okay, it's a lot different than the dynamic was years ago, when I was in EMT. So, and it is a critical element of our society, especially with we just talked about the median age here, right?
Mhm.
And it allows people to be here, that maybe wouldn't normally be able to live here. Plus, it is, you know, it's life-saving. And in all my experiences with them, they have been good. They've been excellent. I just want to, just say that.
Henry?
Well, it doesn't hurt to advertise and, we can have this discussion when we get
Right.
answers to our ad. I don't think we have to.
I'm just giving everybody a heads up, like without cutting other stuff, or putting less aside for all these very expensive projects that all this deferred maintenance has been going on, then, like we just may not be able to be as generous as we have before without cutting out other things. That's all I'm saying.
What I am hearing, and I may be wrong, is that you would like a budget that we can impose for people or for the entities that apply for donations from us. So if we have, say, $30,000 or whatever we settle on, we can divvy that up amongst the different, according to what they have asked, and then then we don't have any more, that's it.
Good idea.
But right, and like I haven't figured out what that is yet. I'm working on it, but I could
Right,
just
but-
tell.
So we
Yeah.
still need to advertise for them.
Yes, we would.
Yeah.
Yes.
We would.
Okay.
And that's what we're dealing with.
To the.
And the reason I'm thinking that too is just like anticipating, okay, well, EMS may ask for 36,000 or even more now. They doubled it, in 1 year. So if they go up to 50 grand, I'm telling you, we can't
No.
afford that.
No,
That's what I'm saying.
I'll throw this out, I don't piss anybody off, but I think it's grown and grown and grown, it's getting out of hand. And our costs are going up,
Right.
trying to keep the towns up.
Right.
And I'm sorry, I totally support EMS, I was in
I know that.
EMS for many years. But the other thing is that they're going for funding, if they get that changes the dynamic of it. But I still have this issue with, I am in
You're
taxpayer
right.
to Hinsdale County, and I also pay taxes within the town of Lake City. We represent those that pay taxes within the town of Lake City.
you're right.
And when we start, all of a sudden, they're collecting that tax, and then we're paying tax to the county, and they're giving money to EMS, and then we're supposed to do it again. It just feels like we're getting hit. I'm gonna go ahead and, I talked with Lex about this, but I'm gonna share this. When I was over at CML, we had this little meeting of the minds thing, but it's the mayor's meeting. And I went ahead and shared with them, you remember the big deal about the chipper at the dump?
Right.
Okay, well, that's a county program. I asked them, I said, well, let me ask you something. I'll explain what I just said. We're all residents of our counties, but then we're in a certain town. And our county was asking us to give up our income back to the county for a program that they put in place that our county taxes are also paying for. And I feel like that's double dipping.
Yeah.
And they looked at me like I was crazy. Because they said, they're really doing that? I said, yeah, and they thought I was making this up, and they said, Dave, you have to understand something, the county is the big government. They get the lion's share of all those taxes, and yes, the town collects theirs off of, property tax, but we get a much smaller percentage than they do. And their word to me was, that county's job is to support the town, not vice versa. So you don't feel one bit bad about saying, no, the town's not funding your county project. Sorry, but it was made very clear to me, and I would like the county to start looking at it that way a little bit more. And understand that, you know, we are so small, everything's intermingled, you know, like, I love Commissioner Wood, she runs dirt does great things for the town, right? Those things all intertwine, but we have a set amount of dollars, our mill levy is way too small. All these other people are asking for money, our mill levy is a joke in the big picture.
Yes.
And if anybody, you know, at one point in time, somebody needs to step up and say, no, this isn't right. And I won't get into all those details, but we're at a fraction of what other towns collect in their mill levies. But you put that on the ballot and you're the horrible person. No, our mills should be.
Double, at least double what it is.
Yeah,
At
well,
least.
what is it like?
If the average is like-
4.3, I
Yes.
think Silverton is 14.2.
Yeah,
Ours has not been raised for as long as I have lived here, right? But I'm just sharing this because we need to protect the town and the citizens and remember that we are citizens of the town.
That's why I don't know. I always bring up the snow plowing is a week late and stuff kind of tax. And they get free snow plowing, but we don't.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
did look into that, and if you look at the code,
the statute, state statute, yeah.
municipalities are responsible for their own snow.
And that's supposed to be paid through property
And we
taxes.
don't have a choice.
Well, but the money that we would save from that, we could do it almost in-house.
Oh, yeah.
It's wrong.
You know, and so, I mean, in towns fund, you know, everything from streets and alleys, like plowing and road maintenance, and like their own police departments, all through property taxes. You know, the great majority of them is property tax. But we bring in $60,000 a year in property tax. Next year, with the higher valuation, we're gonna bring in about 83,000. But that's still not enough to be able to hire enough people to plow the town, you know, or to hire our own town marshal or any of that. Like, it's just not enough. Even if we tripled it, it still wouldn't be enough.
Once we started annexing more of the city limits.
Yep.
And I'm not saying, we have to work hand in hand with the county. But at the same time, I'm just saying, we have a much smaller budget, and we still have overhead, and everything's costing more and more and more. And I won't get too deep in the weeds because Lex will get into this when we start budget time.
Yeah.
But almost everything, every time I talk with Les, another thing goes up in cost.
Oh, yeah, or some other requirement requires us to pay for something.
Yeah, and he's been working hard to get rid of onboard to save us $1,000 here.
Yeah.
Hold it there, and it's still very tight. I'm just saying, I guess when we get into giving away $30,000 to $40,000, that's affecting us. And I'll be honest with you, when they're a bigger organization, they are working on their own funding sources. When we did it last year, you know which ones made me happy? Now, this is just personal, the Boy Scout, that's right. And those are community things to me that are good. I totally understand, EMS is vitally important. I don't think the town's in position to pay $30,000
Oh, I
for
don't-
EMS.
I feel like those two, the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts, were what this program was developed to do, is to help those small community, based efforts.
Then let's advertise.
Yeah.
And move on.
Okay,
Yeah, what do you say?
there's an action item on it, so we can, yeah,
Wow, Henry, good job.
yeah.
Thank you, and thank you for hearing me out on that. I never have to share that, and that's something that I think is important that the town keep in mind.
Yeah. I agree.
Thank you, everyone. Nothing else on that. Our last item was discuss updating the town of city personnel policies. Yes.
Okay, So we're gonna be updating the personnel policy, and I wanted to start with holidays as low-hanging fruit. So like this, and I'm gonna bring up Juneteenth again, I know it's Jesse's favorite holiday. And,
Mine too.
so like, but this Juneteenth, Christina and I were in the office, we couldn't go to the bank, we couldn't go to the post office, the county was closed, our attorney was on vacation. Like, it really limited what we could do, you know? So like, just really most of the daily, day-to-day stuff we weren't able to do, we had to wait till the next day. And it's, you know, so all these different organizations have that holiday. And I would ask that at the very least, that holiday be given to the town staff, but it could be a floating holiday, because sometimes I would prefer to work when no one else is working because no one calls me. And so I'd rather just be able to take that holiday whenever, just like we do Veterans Day. It's a floating holiday. So I was hoping that we would, like the trustees would entertain the idea of giving the town staff Juneteenth as a floating holiday. And then another thing is like, typically, I believe the county, like by resolution at the end of the year, kind of looks at the holidays of the future to see what days they fall on, and to like currently, like this year, they were looking, they get both Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving.
That always falls on a Thursday.
Right, and then like this year, Christmas was a Thursday, and the day after Christmas is a Friday, December 26th. So either I was hoping that we could match that, where we get both the day of Christmas and the day after Christmas, just that, or if a holiday does fall on Thursday, like Christmas or like New Year's, then by resolution every year, we can possibly give the employees off that Friday, like the following Friday, you know, because, yeah, just coming in after after one day of Christmas, or even the day after, you know, a New Year's Day, for example, like here in 2026, New Year's is on a Thursday, we have that day off, but then we're coming back to work on Friday. So I just wanted to discuss that and see what y'all's thoughts are on that.
I'd like to see Juneteenth be a holiday.
It is a federal holiday,
It's a
and
federal holiday.
I think that's,
It's a
Yeah.
federal holiday.
so it should be on our holiday list. That's
Here,
how I
here.
feel about that.
And, you know, if you wanna do that, like you're saying, check, what days some of these fall on and make a recommendation.
We have to put it in the policy though.
Definitely consider it.
Yeah, I know, but I would need to put that in the personnel policy, the new one, where at least annually, like during budget season or something, that the Board of Trustees by resolution would review the holidays and then approve holidays for the next year.
So basically, this year we would need a resolution for the day up, or
For like the day after New Year's, or you mean the day after Christmas? I
the
mean,
day after Christmas, yes.
I mean, that's, if y'all wanna do that, that's fine. I was thinking about future years, but that's cool if you did do it. I mean, I don't see any employee being upset about that.
And could we also include the day after New Year's?
That is totally up to you. I mean, that is one way to show appreciation for staff. And, you know, and I haven't got down, I've been getting into the weeds with the budget, but, you know, seeing what's possible or not. And, you know, I mean, that would be one way of showing appreciation and like kind of, you know, rewarding the employees,
I think
yes.
that's a good idea. Are we gonna need to make a motion in the meeting to have
Well,
a resolution?
Is that an action item tonight?
no, it's not an action item, but it can be one in a future meeting
Okay.
where we discuss a resolution about holidays. We agree on whatever language that I can even put that language in about, you know, doing a resolution every year to determine the holidays, in the policy, and then we can discuss it once we review the policy.
I like it.
You can direct us to draft a proposed one and for your review, and then we can amend it as you see as well too.
Does that need a motion in a meeting, or can we just do that in a workshop?
You mean direct us staff to update the policy, or to
Both.
work on a resolution concerning upcoming holidays?
It's probably safest to make that motion during a meeting. I mean, we're here to,
Yeah,
usually these workshops are to give you guys information, but
Right.
certainly we can take information both ways during these, but it's probably safest to do it during the meeting.
Right, it would be something, when you approve the agenda, you could do an addition.
You wanna do that, I mean,
That's, I mean, it's no hurry.
well, we can wait, let's wait.
Yeah, let's just wait till the next
And
meeting.
let's not make it, because we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, let's just wait till the next meeting and we can just put that
Okay,
in the ordinance.
And just to wrap that up, it does make sense to me being a federal holiday, I understand. Unless you're just gonna lock yourself in your office and do paper, then you can't get much done. So it does make sense,
As a floating holiday, I think so.
no matter what they
Alright. Okay,
call. Okay,
thank you.
all right, that's it for the workshop. We did run over a little bit, it's now 7 PM. You wanna keep going or take 10 and then start our meeting?
I'm good.
we've got a long meeting ahead of us, unless we're gonna take a break in the middle.
Doesn't look that long.
We've got an executive session at the end, which is going to
It's
be,
up to you guys, you wanna power through?
Yes, which I have questions.
Break, no break.
Let's give us like just a quick bathroom break.
give us a break.
Let's take a quick break.
I know, great.
Alright, we'll be right back in,
In 10. It's good.
We'll call 10 minutes.
okay, alright.
And our agenda actually says everything was supposed. Good evening, everyone. It is 7:10 PM on Wednesday, September the 17th, 2025, and I would like to call to order our regular meeting. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Bruce.
Here.
Kendall.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Wintery.
Present.
Woods.
Oh, here,
Weist.
Order.
sorry.
Roberts.
Here. Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Kendall second.
Motion to second. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce.
Yes.
Kendall.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Wintery.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weist.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Now review the regular meeting minutes from 93. I looked them over, I didn't see anything, but I am not trustee Spellcheck.
You're hot. Well. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of 09/03/2025. Second.
Motion second. Roll call vote, please.
Bruce.
Yes.
Kendall.
I abstain.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Wintery.
Yes.
Woods.
Yes.
Weist.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. Next item is bills payable for September 2025.
You going analog?
Just for clarification, Lex,
Yep.
I just wanna make sure that the, Western Spaces.
Yep.
That's part of that grant.
Yes, the Western Spaces is for the housing, the strategic housing plan. That is, correct, and that is, they'll be wrapping up and finishing by the end of the year, but the majority of what they were doing has been done. We will get reimbursed, I believe it is, like 80% of that through our grant.
You're so funny.
Um,
And the reimbursement comes when it's completed.
No, we do quarterly reimbursements, so this one would be in the reimbursement that we'll get back in October. Yeah, and we've been reimbursed for their first one, yeah, like we've already been reimbursed for their first invoice and the other projects we got going on, that grants, we've already been reimbursed.
I was just clarifying that that is grant money.
Yes,
Uh,
on that total $150,000 project, 15,000 of it is coming from, we're paying only 15,000. County's paying 15 grand and we're getting 120 from the grant.
And it was agreed to before we went.
Correct.
Landon, did you have a question or comment?
What is number line item 56? I just.
Let's see. Oh, that's for yeah, the ski lift, yeah. It's the permit fee we get every year.
Okay, I was
Yeah.
just like.
Does that keep going up?
No, it went up this last year, I think it went up.
From like 900 to 11.
Yeah, it's gone up from 800 to 1,100 over the past 3 or 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one of those things that is necessary,
Oh.
and important.
I just didn't have it.
Everybody's okay with it?
We should pay,
My motion.
we should pay a lot of those availability of service fees to Gunnison County Electric for these places that aren't used, part of the year.
But a lot of our water and sewer customers do the same.
Exactly what I was thinking.
That's true.
Remember when I was trying to get you to take that?
I asked, I tried.
Limit that?
They did not want to set a precedent because the majority of their customers actually are vacation homeowners too. And so they didn't want to set a precedent, so,
Okay, and then the budget item tonight is,
yes.
bills payable. We can discuss that at budget time, anything.
Sorry.
Anybody have any questions or comments on the bills payable?
I would like to make a motion to, pay the bills of $133,627.92, on September 17, 2025.
Second.
Motion second, roll call vote please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kindle,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weast,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. The next item is any citizens' comments on items not on the agenda. Looking online. Anybody in Zoom land have any comments? Hearing none. Anybody in our audience? Hearing none, we'll move on. Next item, committee reports. First one, Lake San Francisco Water Activity Enterprises. Trustee Woods, and I did notice that Jeff had sent us and passed out your email this afternoon, but I haven't had a chance to
That was
review it.
what?
Your email on the,
Oh, yeah.
oh no, that was Gunnison Roundtable.
Yes.
All right, go ahead, Andy. I mean,
Um,
Trustee Woods. So,
okay.
Lake San Francisco.
So the water coming out of the lake right now is 36.6 CFS, and Henson Creek is 42.9 CFS. The lake is at 8994.31 feet above sea level, which is 93%. We had in-stream flow calls on the lake for the Colorado Water Conservation Board on August 14th. And we've made several 5 CFS releases until September 3rd. And now they're just, Beverly is monitoring the flow and the water temperature daily. And this will go on until October 1st, when the stream flow, the in-stream flow rate is dropped. So we can get by with less of the in-stream flow. Drops 25. We were at, that little rain over the weekend really helped. And, Henson Creek went from 30 CFS up to 90 in one day.
Literally. A lot of it. That's a lot of rain.
It was a lot of rain.
So, I guess that's it for the lake, it's our crucible.
Okay. All right, anybody have any questions or comments for Henry? I mean, Trustee Woods?
Is this
I'm
middle?
sorry, we've known each other for so long.
That's all right, I don't care.
Okay, our next item is the Gunnison Basin Roundtable, and that is the one that we received an email.
I attended the Gunnison Basin Roundtable, and, on Monday, I haven't had time to write up a report, but I will before the next, month's report, and, it was a couple things I'd just like to mention. Lake Powell is at 29% of capacity, which it's probably never gonna ever fill up again. And, the total Upper Colorado Basin, storage capacity is at 65%. We did have a presentation from this Colorado West Land Trust, and, it's a conservation group. I don't have quite enough for everybody knows, but it's a conservation group. They were buying farms where people were gonna, they're old people that couldn't farm anymore, were gonna just sell their farms off, and there was, chances they'd be subdivided or something. So they were buying these farms and put them under conservation easements. And, then they realized that people were selling their farms and selling the water rights separately. And, so now they've got a new rule that, the water, they buy farms and they put a conservation easement on it, that it can't be subdivided and it has to still be a farm, and that the water rights can't be severed from the deed of the farm, and then they're selling them to younger people who want to farm. And, so it's a pretty interesting thing, but they really got a harsh lesson when some people sold their water rights off and they had farms that didn't have any water. So, but I'll write up a more extensive report, and that Beverly Richards report that I just got today, that I emailed to you guys, it's pretty interesting, you should look at that.
Okay? Anybody have any questions for Trustee Woods in regards to the Gunnison Basin Roundtable? Hearing none, we'll move on to the Historic Preservation Commission. I don't see Joe or Mr. Fox with us.
No, I didn't hear from them either. I know that they approved, the Hinsdale County shed being moved from one location to another. And, there was, they had two other ones that were amended, and two of them were administratively approved by Joe and I, and then another one, they did an amendment to what kind of siding the guy could use on his house. And that's all the details I have. Sorry, that's not really worth much, but they did work. They're just not here to report. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Next item is Chamber of Commerce, Trustee Kendall.
Been out of town for over a month, so, no, I have no.
Okay, well, welcome home. I'm surprised they let you back into the country.
I have a passport.
Thank you, Diane. Okay, next is the Marketing Committee, Trustee Bruce.
I sent you all the goals of the marketing committee, our goals. We had a meeting on September 11th. And the main thing was that we finalized the RFP for a new marketing consultant, since Kate will be ceasing her role as our marketing consultant. We're all pretty sad about that, as of probably at the end of the year. Because she just can't, it's just too much with her new employment. So, anyway, so we're gonna be looking for somebody good. Hopefully we'll get lucky and find somebody.
Do you know who Jackie Noki is? Yeah.
Well, we're gonna put it out, so people, we're not gonna reach out to people, they have to reach to us. The RFP reaches out,
Right.
request. and it'll be on the paper. So, we'll just hope for the best.
Right?
The MAC committee, we did not have a meeting. And of course, dirt is, the big focus is the Wine and Music Festival this Saturday. This will probably be my last year doing the wine tent, it'll be my 10th year. And I think I'm gonna be done. I think I am done, I'm overdone, no. So, you know, it's usually a good time, the weather is looking good, compared to last year, oh crap, that was bad. So, and, you know, there were other things that were discussed in the meeting, but I don't have the details with me right now. That's it.
Okay, any questions for Trustee Bruce? Hearing none, our next item is the High Alpine Region Team, Trustee Woods.
They haven't done anything.
Okay,
I do have, you know, they still want us to review that inventory, but I hope you guys have looked at all the recreation inventory that I emailed to you a couple times.
I didn't know I was supposed to do something with that, Henry. And what are we supposed to do with that?
What's it,
What are we supposed to do with that?
forward it to the trustees.
Oh, I've done that.
Yeah,
Are we supposed to act on it at all?
take a look at it, and, if you have any input, let me know.
Okay.
all right, next is Region 10, myself. I did attend that meeting via Zoom. It was all pretty much business as usual, other than they're having some changeover in staffing. Their loan director from the revolving loan fund committee, and their in-house lender retired or is leaving, so they're looking to hire one. So if anybody knows a mortgage broker that would like to work, not mortgage, a loan broker, that would like to work at Region 10, they're hiring. The other thing, I forget who else retired. Anyways, they have some staffing changes going on. For me, the highlight of the meeting was they did approve the $10,000 mini grant that Christie had worked on for us for our playground equipment. So we're getting $10,000 there.
Right.
Other than that, that was a regular board meeting. The executive board meeting was supposed to be coming up in a week, and I just got an email that that's been canceled for September, so I won't have anything for the next couple of weeks. Any questions for me? Okay, next item, planning and zoning. They're not here, I didn't see anything in writing.
Yeah, I don't think they even had a meeting last month to consider anything, so,
I think they're very busy with that,
with the housing stuff,
housing.
yeah.
Yeah, Michelle,
Okay, next report, town manager.
Oh, yes. Let me grab my report. Somewhere in here. There it is. So yeah, the meeting agendas, we will be using Onboard until the mid-October meeting. After that, everything will be coming through the Streamline website. If you check your town email and your personal email, if you're on the distribution list, then you would have seen a Town of Lake City email that came from an email address that is tlcco@specialdistrict.org. That is our town's website's email address. That is how the agendas will be sent out both to the trustees as well as the public. So, and then starting at that November 1st meeting, that's the only way it'll come out because we're moving away from Onboard. And this also will allow all the documents, Jody, to be digitally accessible so that, and it's a huge time saver and headache saver by being able just to post it on there and people can see it digitally accessible online. Already talked about the dynamic planning, we're gonna shoot for the 5:30 to 8 on October 2nd. And I've already went over the donations. For my Certified Public Managers course, I did complete the last class and passed it. I still need to do the capstone project, which is more involved. We've already, with having training, having sent Grant and Christina to the Cassell training and the clerk training, and then what little training I had as well with the conferences I went to, we've maxed out our budget. So my plan is to figure out what my project's gonna be, get the School of Public Affairs to agree to that, and then come January 1st, pay for it and start working on it. That's my plan. And that's all I have.
Any trustees have questions for Mr. Mulhall?
Thanks.
You're welcome.
That's not a question,
Yeah.
but I know. Thank
And
you.
I'm diligently working, I wanted to add something else. I am working on the budget. I want to be able to tell people the new water and sewer rates with a notice in the October 31st billing. We are getting those questions. So I'm gonna have a draft budget ready for the trustees at the October 15th meeting. And really on October 1st, I'm gonna try to start talking about the water and sewer fund budget and talking about water and sewer rates and to see where we're at. I'm planning to have it done by October 1st or at the very latest October 15th, so that we can see what the rates are gonna be, and that we're able to notice that to the public starting October 31st. In fact, the newsletter I'll do from October will be about water and sewer rates, so that if people don't see the notice in their bills, hopefully they'll get the newsletter and be able to see it and be aware of it. That's all.
Okay. I have a question.
Uh,
Is it appropriate to share with the board the new employee?
oh, yes.
Oh.
Duh, my bad. So the town of Lake City, we did three interviews. One of the interviewees had canceled their interview. So we interviewed 3 people, and we have extended a job offer, and she accepted, to Tina Caniglio. She will be the
Yes.
administrative secretary starting Tuesday.
Great.
So that is very good news. We're very excited. Think she'll be a great member of the team.
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome, that's great, that's good news.
Let's do that at another time, but yeah, you're welcome to do that. But out of the candidates we interviewed, Tina was selected. She's also a notary already, which is a big thing for the office. Yeah, and she has lots of office experience and interviewed very well.
She's smart, she's so smart.
Yeah, I think that was a great choice. She also has a lot of Lake City experience.
Yes, she does.
And she don't take no slack, so.
Yeah,
I think she'll be good.
yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, it's great, well done.
All right, good job, Lex, thank you. Next is the town engineer report. I must say, I love your photos. I like them so much, I printed them out. So
You did.
Joanne, you wanna come up here?
Look at this.
And I hardly have any questions, actually none, because these are so self-explanatory.
Okay.
I thought this was a little harder, it wasn't a sequential process.
You can totally move your chair up.
So, they've been working on the framing of the building, they had to delay the spacers, between the trusses came 24-inch, the spacing of the trusses is 16-inch. So they were gone for a week waiting for those to come in, and they only got about half of them, so they got more to do on that, but they've got all the trusses set, and they're working on the balloon on the south side, and have the framing for the skylight done. That's about it on that one. This is just the process for tapping the high-density polypropylene pipe. They wrap the tap saddle around the pipe, restrain it to the pipe, and then they put electrodes to it that heats it up and welds it to the pipe.
And it's actually the well just from the pipe.
Yes.
Cool.
And then it's got the electrode impact.
trash that came out of the
No, that's
modules
just
was
with me.
really phenomenal.
This is where it's wrong.
They filled a long trailer.
Oh, no, it's temporary.
Oh, and I commented, the gentleman that was here before is the owner of the module company. And,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Introduce them all to it.
I just really want to put a face to all of you guys. He's mostly doing, he came in yesterday and he was doing some delays, and so he's gonna just work in his room. In case somebody went back to keep doing that.
These are Chapel Hill, North Carolina, that's a hall.
Yeah. Well,
Cool.
the thing about preparing the aeration modules is everything is upside down and backwards, and you're doing it above ground. And it's been an interesting process. What they're trying to do is to use the fusing equipment to do everything they can rather than electrofusing. And so this thing has been flipped up and down and over and around. It's been an interesting process.
What's the heat count on that? Like, for the plate?
There's a label on each of the pieces, and there's an app,
Okay.
and you take your scanner,
Wow.
and you scan it, and if you have the app, it pops up how many minutes for each particular piece.
Oh, wow. So much better than what I was doing, sitting there, I was doing 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like 45 to 60 minutes.
Yeah,
And in the winter, it
there's
was like an hour and a half.
the 16-inch we're using originally is a good half hour each.
In the cool time, is it under pressure? Well,
Yeah. And we've got, next month's pictures will have all of this stuff finished. Right now, we forgot to take the scaffolding out, so we're upwards for the pond is full. And so tomorrow, we're gonna get the scaffolding.
Oh, wow.
And then
So the pond being filled up.
pond is full.
Oh, wow.
We started the root test, we're probably gonna not, depending on when they get the air in, we're probably gonna have a part of it done, so we'll probably start over.
We had talked about it a little bit earlier, but we didn't address it. About that, the white stuff inside of the module, you think that floats, is that
Yeah.
just within the module?
Yeah.
Or it doesn't go over the entire?
And with, as the water went up, some sheets stuck together, and so they look not quite like what I've been describing to you, but once they put air into them, they separate.
Oh, so we kind of thing perfect.
Yeah, it's just, they're restrained on the bottom, and their density is less than water, so they float up, they floated up in inlet outlet.
is it like a mattress tank here almost? What do you need?
I think it's some kind of a glass wall. Yeah, there's this, if you wanna stop by, I've got a sample of it.
Oh, cool, yeah.
You can touch it.
I didn't touch it.
And Willie came up with a great idea on how to do the air timing today. So,
Do the air,
the air tie-in, yeah, on the last slide, when we went to try to tie it in on the location, I thought we were gonna tie it in. We discovered that the air pipe was on a steep slope and below the water level in the pond, so we cut a hole. The pond wanted to come
Nice.
in. So we quickly got a repair clamp on it, and we've been talking about what to do for a week.
And Willie came up
Well,
with
the
a solution.
Commission this afternoon, or this morning, we sent it to the Ridgeway Valley. He's trying, there's a little bit of a challenge in that we need to put a tap. He's gonna tap it in the blower room on the ductile iron pipe. And how we're gonna get that tap in, and because it's so, the air is so hot coming out, you can't really use the Ukraine. So he's hoping he can find a steel tapping cell that he can use, so that's what's happening.
Okay, cool.
They're gonna try to do the air tie-in tomorrow, get all of the pipes, on slide.
Alright, a lot of progress.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Any questions? Any questions for Joe?
Love the pictures.
Other questions? Yeah, I like it.
Yep, we'll keep doing that.
Alright.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
It makes a whole lot more sense when you talk about the pictures as opposed to me reading the words.
Oh, yeah. This is a picture, we're a picture book kind of people.
Now, you were talking about that app that you take a scan and then it determines, it won't be long until we will be a robot.
They're doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Joanne.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, legal update.
Thank you, Mayor. I don't have anything to update you guys with tonight. I'm sure you guys will get tired of talking to me in executive session, so happy to answer any questions, but nothing really to bring to your attention tonight.
Nope, we will see you in executive session. Thank you. Which reruns, can find the script, right? You have the.
Oh, yes, I do
I
here.
didn't bring them with. Okay, next is mayor trustee reports. Anybody in trustee, but, you first.
It came to my attention, that there is an individual or individuals putting letters on OHVs as they're parked downtown. Not nice letters. And at cabins. And at cabins. And I emailed a copy of this, of one of the letters that somebody had scrunched up and straightened it out. Anyway, I emailed it to you guys so you could read it, know what's being done. This is not the way adults can conduct conflict resolution, okay? Pretty sure this is an adult that's doing it. But it's cowardly, there's no signature, there's no contact information. If this person really wanted a conversation, they would provide that. And I really think it's just unproductive. It's just not the way it's supposed to work. And the letter includes statements of their Texas flags and their, you guys pack up and go back to Texas. The people that this letter came to, they're not even from Texas. That's how ignorant this is. So I would implore whoever's doing this, please stop. And if you want to have an intelligent, constructive conversation, then there are avenues to accomplish that. And I hope the Silver World gets my quote correct. Thanks. Yes, Les.
I would just say also, there's an election, if they want to run for trustee in April, then, and make a change in their community and serve the community, openly and actively, I welcome them to do so.
There are so many positive, proactive things that people can accomplish. If they spent half the time they spend on negative things, doing positive things, maybe we would see a big difference. And I think this is just rude to people in general, and there's no call for that. That's it. Thanks.
On that note, I did see that letter, and I'll just tell you my rule of thumb, if you don't put your name on it, then it's not worth the paper it's written on. Say anything you want, you don't have to hash it up.
Agreed.
Okay. Any other trustees reports? Any?
I forgot,
Trustee Wilkes?
when that Gunnison Basin Roundtable has been a really not good learning experience for me, and I like attending those meetings, but, I wanted to go to this, water seminar in Denver, and Lex said there wasn't enough money, but I'd like to attend, I forgot in my report to mention that I'd like to attend the, Colorado River District Annual Seminar on October 3rd, for that day, and I don't think there's any fee.
I think there may be a modest fee for that.
Pardon me?
I think there may be a modest fee for that, but the C9 Summit, up to 10 people from each basin can go and they will get reimbursed for the travel. From each roundtable, they have said that
Okay,
that was part of Jeff's presentation during the meeting.
So and I would like to, I mean, Henry, I said, that we're limited on funds. However, I said that you should talk to the board to see if they,
Okay.
if they want you to go to represent the
all
trustees.
right, so if I'd have to clear it with Wendell.
Yep.
And then I would want to get my, gas money
Yeah,
reimbursed. So
That
that was
would, they pay mileage, they said they would pay mileage
Well,
and
yeah.
lodging,
Yeah.
3 nights lodging, so you go the night before, I think that's what he said, and then the 2 days of the meeting, or you can go the day of the meeting and spend the night after the end of the second day. But yeah, reach out to Jeff and confirm, or reach out to Wendell.
To Sharon?
Wendell.
Wendell or Jeff?
Jeff, okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, any other trustees? Anything they'd like to report?
I would just like to say that I read the letter and I definitely don't come down on the letter. It's great, not good, and definitely not, something that our community strives towards. Singling people out for.
Correct.
Anything along that line.
I agree. Any other reports? Anything else you guys would share? Okay, hearing none, that wraps up our reports. Next is correspondence received. I didn't see any in our packet.
We didn't, but I do want to say that with the newsletter about code enforcement, we did get several replies through the email of people saying, good job trustees, good job Lex, finally someone's doing something about the code enforcement. And then also Christy Turner with Alpine Village said that this is really good news, she's really glad it's happening. She pledged $2,000 in dump fees for the code enforcement, like for the volunteer group to help the disabled and elderly. And that she was going to try to provide a truck and a trailer and try to encourage others to provide resources as well. So
Who
there's
was that?
Christy Turner with Alpine Village.
Okay.
Yep,
Great.
yep. So we'll see how that turns out.
All right, additions to the agenda we have done this evening. We'll move on to our action items. Our first one is discussion of possible action to approve letter requesting EIAF 10006, More Housing Now grant expiration date to be extended to December 31st, 2026.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any questions or further discussion? A copy of that's in your packet.
We discussed it last meeting.
Yes. Hearing none, roll call vote please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kendall,
That's good. I mean, you talked about it last time.
you can vote.
I wasn't here for this.
Abstain? Or, okay. Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weast,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. And our final, item this evening is to look at an executive session.
No, we have action item number 2.
Oh. I'm sorry. Discussion and possible action to direct staff to advertise for nonprofit donation requests for the 2026 budget from September 26th to October 10th.
Second.
Motion in a second. We just discussed this enough earlier, so roll call vote.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods,
Yes.
Weist,
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes. I apologize for missing that action. Stop. The final item this evening is to go to executive session. And it's executive session pursuant to CRS 24-6-4024E to determine positions relative to matters that may be subject to negotiations. The matter to be discussed is the Hinsdale County Sheriff IGA. That being said, I will need a motion to go into executive session.
I make a motion to go to, enter into executive session.
Second, roll call vote, please.
Bruce,
Yes.
Kendall,
Yes.
Lindsay,
No.
Winery,
Yes.
Woods, Weist,
No.
Roberts.
Yes.
All right, motion passed. 4-3.
Hey,
All right.
Lex,
Yeah,
I actually need to interrupt you here.
okay.
When you go into executive session, it needs to be by a supermajority, which means 2/3.
Okay. So that's 5 out of 7 then?
Yeah,
Okay.
so
So
that
motion-
fails.
Motion failed.
Okay. Okay, that motion fails, and so if nothing else before the board this evening, then the meeting is adjourned.
We still can't discuss it? Is that-
No,
No,
Still talk about it, Kelly?
no.
it's not on the agenda.
It's not on the agenda. It's supposed to be an executive session. It's matters like, it's supposed to be it's for negotiations for the IGA.
I have some clarification I would like before I could support an executive session. But we can't do that because it's not on the agenda.
Well, we can. Do you guys mind holding on for 30 seconds? Let me confer real quick
Sure.
before we close this meeting.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Okay, I call for a mulligan on the adjournment then.
Mr. Cash.
It is.
All right, sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't getting us in any hot water. So what we can do is discuss in open session either what you wanted to discuss in executive session or your reasons for or against it or all that. And then if that changes someone's mind or whatever, we can go into executive session. What we cannot do is obviously make a decision because it's not noticed. So does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions?
But, and so if we did go back into executive session, another motion would need to be made? Or is that just,
Yes.
Yes, we would need a new motion. I would assume that the trustees who voted against it would I'm sure you guys have a reason you don't want to. So if you want to discuss that and it changes someone's mind, that's great. If it doesn't, that's also fine.
Well, if I may, if I say something wrong, Dan, stop me, let me know, but just for information, the reason for this, we were going to do this, is we are beginning to work on a new IGA with the sheriff's office. And I just think there's some discussions and things that would help the trustees be informed on what's going on and to start the process and, know some information prior to beginning the new IGA.
And
Our purpose.
And I would also say prior to any kind of joint workshop about the idea with the county.
Correct.
And can I interject for just a second too? Some of you are newer. In fact, I think I've only met a couple of you once or twice in person. In general, my advice to you is always do everything you possibly can in open session. That being said, there are times when you guys act as a board. You want to make sure that you all have the same information. You want to make sure you can speak freely and get all the information without feeling the wrath of the public, and you can facilitate an open and honest conversation. So those times, or if the really common example is if you're negotiating to buy a property and you say the maximum I can spend is $100,000, you don't do that in open session because someone will come spend $101,000. So there are reasons to go into executive session. They're pretty limited, but sometimes it is better to just facilitate a free discussion and get everyone on the same page. And no decisions are made in executive session is the last thing I just needed to remind you.
And Dan, would you say that negotiations on a contract such as this is an appropriate reason to go into executive session?
Yeah, I have definitely seen this in other communities. Definitely if there's specific concerns that, and I'm trying to think of an example that's not going to be relevant here, but like, if we're negotiating a contract with a fire department and we say, hey, I just think that we're into this truck that's too old and there's reasons for it, and you have legitimate concerns, but you don't want to voice them. I think that's something that you can get the information in executive session. It's really up to you guys though.
Because eventually, everything pretty much from the executive session, substantive will be public anyway.
Yeah, and we're not acting on anything in the executive
Right.
session. It's to make sure everyone's
You're discussing
informed.
the amount that's gonna be.
No, I mean, there's a whole slew of things. We don't have to, I mean, there's a whole slew of things. I
It's
mean,
not just the amount.
No.
no.
I mean, the amount I can see in
Yeah.
executive session.
It is. It is gonna be that
But
way.
everything
That's
else,
going to be public knowledge.
yeah.
Everything we discuss is going to be public knowledge, or it's gonna be hidden from the public. But there should not be anything here that should be hidden from the public. We're not negotiating for a piece of land and we have some, high end that we can go to. That's not the kind of negotiations we're having. This is something that has to happen, period. It has to happen. It should happen in the public's view. Thank you.
Trustee Wood?
I agree with that, Jody, and I've negotiated probably 30 different sheriff's IGAs, and we've never ever done any of them in executive session.
Mhm.
30?
So would you say that we perhaps on another meeting, we have, we just have a workshop item to
I'm sorry,
discuss?
what were you saying? I couldn't hear you.
So are you suggesting that we just have a workshop discussion item at a future meeting?
I'm suggesting that we don't go in, that this is not a matter that rises to executive session. This is not a sensitive personnel matter. It is not a negotiation where we could lose our pants if the opponent knows what we're doing. This is a public entity, and we're talking about an IGA with another public entity. And I don't think there should be anything hidden here. That's why I voted no. I don't know why the other trustees that voted no voted the way that they did.
Dan?
Yeah, I was just gonna say another option that you have is, if we want candid discussion and all that, we could do just a workshop on this.
So
And
it's like-
again, that would be a situation in which you're not making a decision. Once you have your discussion in your meeting, that's where you would say, you know, I'm for this or against this for the following reasons. But if it's more of just a fact finding, kind of establishing what's going on, that might be more appropriate for a workshop, or if it's of such a nature that you don't feel you can candidly and openly discuss it. And sometimes I don't think this is the case, but you know, sometimes there's allegations that person A did this and you're not really sure. You might not want to make those allegations in public. So it's really how you guys want to do it, but I certainly see both sides of that.
So I suggest we just have a future workshop discussion about it. At any time during a regular meeting, a trustee can make a motion to go into executive session at any time, so.
Say those for you?
I said at any time during a regular meeting, a trustee can make a motion to go into executive session, even if it's not on the agenda. So we can have a discussion in the workshop. If anyone feels like during the regular meeting, we should have an executive session, they can call a motion to go into executive session
At the end of the meeting?
At any point.
at any point in the meeting. All right, let's go home.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you, Dan.
Thank you, Dan.
Good night, guys.
Probably not for